Howdy folks, we ready to get another puzzle going? Let's see what we've got today. We have an easy puzzle. Alright, well, if you guys would like to see any particular styles on the easy puzzles done, please let me know. The easy puzzles are easy, which should mean you should be able to get everything with single elimination. So when I do an easy puzzle, let's review the basics of the rules. If you don't know how to play Sudoku, this is a great way to start easy puzzles. You have the dark lines that divide the big cube into 9 smaller cubes. So each one of the smaller cubes needs to have the numbers 1 through 9 in the cube. Now, in addition, the columns and the rows also have to have 1 through 9 in them, and they can't overlap. So for instance, there's already a 9 here in this cube, but this 9 also fulfills the 9 for the row, and this 9 also fills the 9 for the column. So you see how there's a 9 here in this right column and left column and center column. So there are some other games that change the rules up, but this particular cube here, you see how there doesn't have a 9 in it yet. Well, this 9 across the whole top row says this cannot be a 9, and this 9 here says you cannot have a 9 in the bottom row. So there's only one particular spot in this cube that could be a 9, and that's just called a single elimination. If you eliminate all the spots that it could be, the one spot that's left, that has to be it. You'll also see here the center cube is missing a 2. Well, this 2 right here says that it completes the row, so there cannot be a 2 in these bottom 2. So this is the only spot left in this center cube that can be a 2. Now the other 2 numbers that it's missing looks like to get 9. You go 1, 2, it's missing a 3, 4, 5, and a 6. So these 2 have to be a 3 or a 6. And usually you look down the columns and through the rows and see if you can eliminate them. So there's nothing, if there was a 3 down here or a 6, that would help us to tell which one those are. So because there's not a single elimination, here on the easy mode, you just skip it. And what you're going to do is you're going to go around this puzzle 2 or 3 times and find these simple solutions, just like we found for this 2 and this 9, and they will all resolve themselves over simple eliminations. So for instance, this cube here needs a 1. Well, this 1 completes it for this column, so it can't be here or here. This 1 completes it for this row. So in this cube, this is the only spot left for a 1. We've got a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. We need a 6. So I'm going to look vertically. There's no 6 above or below to help me. And I'm going to look horizontally, and there's no 6 to help me out here. So we're going to just skip it. We need a 7. Well, you cannot have a 7 here in this top row because of this 7. And because of this 7, you can't have it in this column. So this is the only spot left for a 7 in this cube. Single elimination. Now we need an 8. Now we have an 8 right here that tells us that this row cannot have another 8. So this is the only spot left for an 8. So that 6 that we didn't know where it went, there is now only one spot left in this cube for the 6. Single elimination. When you get into medium and hard and very hard, they use other techniques to help to resolve these numbers. But for the easy ones, single elimination, you just look and see what's missing. So, for instance, this row needs 1 through 9. 1, 2, it needs a 3. Well, this cannot be a 3 because there's already a 3 in this cube. So that means out of these 2 spots, this one has to be a 3. And then it's missing a 4. Well, a 4 couldn't have gone here because there's already a 4 in this cube. So 4 is the only number left missing in this row. Now that row is done. Okay. So let's see, we're just going to kind of just go around the puzzle here. Cubes or the rows or the columns that are missing the fewest numbers, sometimes those can be a little easier to resolve. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need a 5. So I'm going to look vertically just above here in these two columns. There's no 5s to help me out. Now I'm going to look to the left. There's no 5 to help me out there. So I'm just going to skip it. Now I need a 6. Okay. Is there any 6s over here? No. Is there a 6 above or below? No. Then I've got a 7 and I've got an 8. Now I need a 9. Well, this 9 says there cannot be any other 9 down here. So that makes this one our 9. Okay. So now we're just missing two numbers, but we don't have anything above or below to help us out, so we're just going to skip it. Now, you'll notice here in this row, we're missing three numbers. These two, but also this one. Now, if I got a 1, I need a 2. You'll see this 2 says that it can't be here, so this is the only spot left for a 2. Also, this 2 comes across and says in this cube, you cannot have a 2 in any three of these spots. This is the only spot left. So we'll put the 2 in there. Alright, so we're missing three numbers here in the center cube. Let's take a look and see what we're missing. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need a 5. So we're going to look above. Oh, there we go. No 5 in the right. And we're going to look below. Oh, there's a 5 in the middle. So only one 5 left. Now we need a 6. And I don't have any 6 above to help out, and I don't have any 6 below. So I'll just skip it for now. 7, we've already got a 7. Now we need an 8 in this cube. Now we have an 8 here on the right that says no 8 can go here, so our 8 has to go here. Now I only have one number left in this cube and this row, which is that 6. And now that's the only spot that it can go, single elimination. Same thing now with this new column. We just have one number missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can only have 1 to 9 in each cube, in each row, and in each column. So if you find the layout to be more to your advantage to look at it a different way, then like for instance, if you're looking this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers are missing. But if you're looking to fill this spot and you go vertically, well, there's only 2 numbers missing. 1, 2, now we need a 3. And I don't have anything to help me with a 3 over here or over here. So we'll skip the 3. 4, 5, and we need a 6. And we already know we need a 3 and a 6 here, and we didn't have any help then. And we still don't have any help now, so we're just going to leave that one alone. Okay. So let's look here in this cube what we've got. We've got a 1, we've got a 2. We just said we were looking for a 3. We don't have any 3s over here to help us. 4, 5. Now we need a 6. Do we have any 6s? We don't. These are very scarce. Not a whole lot of numbers to the left and to the right. All right, no 6s. We do need a 7. Is there anything that can help us? We have a little bit of an elimination. We still have 2 left. So we're just going to skip that for a moment. Okay, so let's look over here at this cube for a moment. Anytime you have pairs, those can help on the third cube. So you have a 1 across the bottom, 1 through the middle. This is the only spot left in this cube that we can put a 1. Okay, so now you see how we have a 9 and an 8. They'll go right through the middle. This pattern is very important to see because it could eliminate this and just leave you with 1 spot left. Okay, let's see, did that help us with anything else? We see how we have a pattern here too with this line here. Okay, so if we're looking at this particular cube here, we need a 1. Now the 1 comes through this way, so 1 is going to be top or bottom. We have a 2, a 3. We need a 4. Now we do have a little bit of help here. The 4 has to go here. We need a 5, and the other 5 is going to come up. So these two are going to be a 4 and a 5. Because of this 4 and 5, it cannot be here. So these two are going to be our 4 and a 5. Okay. We need a 6. We need a 7. We've got our 7. We need an 8. This 8 comes through that center line. So we have a 1 and an 8 here. So let me write that down just so that we can see it here. We've got these little pencil notations. And we have a 4 and a 5 and a 4 and a 5. So you remember how we were finding these 6's here by filling everything out, and the 6 was the last number that was left? Look what we just did here in this cube. Because of the 1 and the 8 coming through the middle, this has to be a 1 and an 8. Because this 4 and 5 are completing this left column, these two have to be the 4 and the 5. So the only number that's left that can go right here is a 6. And one of the neat things about this is we can count this out. We can go 1, 2, we have a 3, 4, 5, and then that's where our 6 is going to go because we have a 7 and an 8 and a 9. So this is the only spot that, again, you got to look at the rows, the columns, and the cubes. And they all say that this is the 6 is the only number that can go here. So that'll help us out. Alright, so now we can look at these two numbers and see what we're missing. We've got a 1. We need a 2. And one of these is going to be a 2. We look down vertically. Don't see anything to help us out with a 2. We need a 3. Well, there's a helpful 3. So we know this one has to be a 3, which only leaves, now again, one spot that can be the 2. That's all there can be is that's it. Okay. All right. So now let's see what we've got. We know these two are our 3 and our 6. We'll write that in there. The pencils are great. You don't have to do the pencils a lot. I only recommend, if you're using pencils, only use it when you're down to 2 numbers. If you put much more in that, I had a neighbor who would write down every pencil mark before he'd even start the game, and his puzzle was so overloaded with numbers he couldn't even see it anymore. So get the simple ones out of the way, and then look at your pencil marks and see what you need. Okay. Alright, so let's look at this cube here. We know we need a 1, and it can't be in the right side because of this one. It can't be in the center column because of this one, so it's got to be in the left. Okay, should we write that down? Let's just write it down to help us out. We've got a 2, we've got a 3, we need a 4. Well, we have this 4 here that says it can't be in the top row. We have this 4 here that says it can't be in the left column. So this is the only spot left for a 4. Okay, so we need a 5. Now this 5 says it can't be in the bottom. So one of these 3 up here is going to be our 5. We need a 6. We don't have anything else that can help us with the 6. We need a 7, which we've got right there. Now we need an 8. Now we have an 8 in the right column, and we have an 8 in the left column. So it only leaves us one spot left for an 8. Now, over here, remember how we wrote these two numbers? One had to be a 1 and one had to be an 8. Now this 8 is going to come over here and help us. It says this can't be an 8 anymore. This one has to be our 8, which means this one now has to be our 1. That's how those pencil marks help us. Now with this being the 1, remember how we wrote one of these two had to be a 1? Well, now this one comes across the top and says no 1s are allowed. Only spot left for a 1 is right there. Alright, so now the two numbers that we're missing here are a 5 and a 6. So I'm going to look down here, and I don't have anything to help me just yet. So let's just write those in. 5 and a 6, 5 and a 6. You do have to be very cautious when you're using the pencils. I get myself caught up all the time because I didn't clean them up, I didn't erase them, or I had too much and I've missed a piece. So be very cautious when you're using your pencil marks just to keep it straight. Maybe I'm making it up more than it needs to be. Okay, now in this particular column now, I'm going to look at some columns. I see that I need a 4 and a 5, right? Well, I notice there's a 4 here, and I notice there's a 4 here. So if I need a 4 in this column to get the 1 through 9, well, I know I can't have a 4 here, and I can't have a 4 here. So this is actually the only spot left in this column that I can have a 4. Now, if that makes it a 4, in this cube, this one can only be a 5. All right, now in this column, back to this column here, we have 2 numbers missing. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need a 5. Well, I've got a 5 already in the bottom row. So here's our 5. We have a 6, a 7. Now we need an 8, and there's only one spot left for that 8. Now we're only missing 2 numbers in this column. 1, 2. We need a 3. And that could be either one of those. I don't have any 3s over here to help me out. Okay, 4, 5, 6, and I need a 7. Okay, so we know that this is going to be a 3 and a 7, a 3 and a 7 to help complete this row. Now, I was looking for a 3, and I noticed over here in this right cube, there's a 3 here and a 3 here, which should help me out down here. 3 to the right, 3 through the center. So this one is the only one left to be a 3, which is now going to say this can't be a 3, so it has to be here, which makes that a 7. Okay, so now let's look at this cube here, because we know we're just missing a couple numbers. Let's see if we're any helpful here. We've got a 1. What were the 2 numbers we were missing here? A 5 and a 6, I believe. Let me write those in so I don't forget. See, that's where I don't do my pencil marks and I forget. Okay, do we want to do that one or do we want to do this one? Let's finish looking at this one here. We're missing 3 numbers. We've got a 1. Now we need a 2. Now this 2 says it can't be in the top. Okay, so it can be one of these 2, and there's no 2 over here to help us just yet. We've got a 3. Now we need a 4. Now I've got a 4 in the top already. This row's covered. I've got a 4 in the bottom row. So the only place for a 4 right now is the middle. Now if we go back to the 2, 2 can't be here in the top, so this is the only spot that a 2 can be in this cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're missing the 6. 7, 8, 9. Now that cube is complete. Now we'll see here that we just have one number missing. 1, 2, 3. We're missing a 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now with this 3, we can now complete this column. It can't be a 3, has to be a 6. Now if this is a 6, that makes this one a 3. There we go. Now we've got 2 numbers missing here. We just filled out a bunch of numbers. I wonder if that will help us. We've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. We still need a 6, and I don't have anything to the right or to the left to help me with a 6, but I do need a 7, and there is a helpful 7. So right through the center, so 7 has to be in the bottom. Now there's only one number missing in this cube, which is that 6. So now if we look in this bottom row, we're missing one number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now also here, we see we're missing 2 numbers this way, but if we go vertically, we're just missing one number. Now this 6 is going to help us right here. This is no longer a 6, so it has to be a 5, which means this has to be a 6, which means this one now has to be a 5, and that one has to be a 6. So that helps us with our numbers. We've got a 1, we need a 2, and there's a 2 right there, so it can't be in the middle. 2, 3, 4, only number missing is our 5. So there you are, folks. I know this was an easy puzzle. For those of you that are used to the harder ones, this may be really, really simple. Maybe skip it. For those of you that are learning, don't feel overwhelmed if you're having a hard time with the mediums and the hards and the extra hards. Get comfortable with these easy ones. Print them off. There are more than one way to solve this, especially with the easy ones. You can see different numbers. There's lots of solutions to come up with the same answer, though. That's one of the neat things I do love about Sudoku, is you only can get one solution. Doesn't matter if you started with the 1s first or the 9s, or if you started in the rows or the columns or the cubes. You can start however you like, whatever catches your mind, follow those patterns, but you will always come up with the exact same answer. I like that about math. And hopefully you learn some techniques, possibly. The pencil markings are very good. Please feel free to leave comments, suggestions, or challenges. I enjoy them all, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.